Now for this discussion, this news, we start from Ukraine and Russia. Kyiv authorities say the capital water supply has been fully restored after power was returned to the city's main utility. Kyiv water pressure across all districts is now back to normal following overnight Russian strikes that temporarily knocked several pumping stations offline. The attacks were part of a massive Russian barrage that has left 3 people dead, nearly 30 injured, and more than 600,000 households without power across Ukraine. Kyiv officials described widespread damage after a night of intense explosions targeting the capital's energy grid. Ukraine's military has reported intercepting 577 of 632 missiles and drones launched at Kyiv, one of the largest single-night assaults of the war. Meanwhile, President Zelensky has confirmed that a Ukrainian negotiating team is heading to the U.S. for peace talks, led by Security Council Secretary Rustem Umerov, who replaces outgoing negotiator Andriy Yermak following his resignation. Now for this discussion, we welcome Mark Sutherland. He's a geopolitical expert, joined us live from London. Thank you very much, Mark, for joining us again. Good to see you. Mark, now looking at this, how do you think, how will Andriy Yermak's absence, do you think it's going to affect the negotiations moving forward, and also the scandals coming out from Ukraine about the yes, how do you think that will be affecting the talks?
Ashima, hi. Good to be with you. All of this, I think, is in the mix. I mean, this gentleman that's just been dismissed or stood down, film producer background, has been right by Zelensky's side for a number of years. The main thing is we wish to see these talks come together. There are a lot of factors going on behind closed doors, and some of those are nefarious because it suits some people, and it might be shocking for me to say this, to keep this war going. And I, like you, like many others, we wish to see this stop. Now, the man who Yermak has just stepped down. He has been part of this negotiation team. There he is, trying to set that up, be part of this, and now is not going to be there. Does this make Zelensky vulnerable? We're going to wait and see. And after yet another Russian onslaught, or whatever we're reading, if we say that these figures are right, of 596 drones towards Kyiv and beyond and around. The Ukrainians say that they've shot many of those down, or 558, depending on what we're reading and where we're getting our news from. This is continuing. We're about to see maybe in negotiations people come to the table to end this, but the Russian onslaught continues. Asuma.
Yes, and what key issues still lie between Ukrainian negotiators and U.S. negotiators, as well as the Russians who are not on the table right now, but who could be present with just U.S. negotiating, with U.S. not directly with Ukraine?
As you know, the Russians are very good at propaganda. One of the big issues that we all face when we're asked to comment on this is we're trying to work out what is the truth. And one of the other big issues is the actual state of the Russian economy. Lavrov's last year, 2024, the beginning of 2024, there was a peace agreement on that they were putting forward just after the Ukraine invasion. Remember, by Russia, they invaded a sovereign country. There was, within a number of weeks, a deal being discussed that was stopped as this has continued. There are so many factors, and one of the big factors is, of course, Russia turning around and saying, well, whatever land we've taken in regard to Ukraine, we wish to keep. We wish to have this buffer zone. That is not going to be easy. But also remember, as reading certain figures, the amount of losses on their side, which is now well over 1 million, the amount of tanks, etc., and hardware that they have lost is extensive. So the Russians will be taking all this into consideration as well as the Ukrainians. But at the end of the day, Russia invaded a sovereign country. We have seen the most serious war within Europe for many, many years, and we wish it to end. Can we get these voices around the table to end it? Especially when the Ukrainians as well have sacrificed the soldiers that have died, sacrificed their lives for this to defend their country. That is also a huge issue, understandably a big issue that has to be taken into consideration in regard to this, because they were attacked. And when Russia turns around and says, well, in the future we'll look after your security, and as the Ukrainians have already said, you attacked us in February 2022. Why should we in fact believe you? And as you and I have discussed, there's so much history to throw into the mix here, especially in regard to the Minsk agreements, especially in regard to 1994, and asking the Ukrainians to get rid of their nuclear weapons, and that the Americans, the West, NATO, etc., would then defend them.
Yes, and Mark, keeping that on mind, today there was strikes on Shadow Fleet in Turkey's waters, which are off Russia. Do you think this incident in particular would be influencing the talks that are held today?
Asuma, sorry, who did you? I didn't catch that. Who has attacked who?
The Ukrainians attacked the Shadow fleets in Turkish waters that were docked in Turkish waters today.
Right, as in you are talking about the Russian Ghost Fleet that then exports oil around the world.
Yes.
Well, it's a Russian asset, and of course, as the Ukrainians, like everyone else, is aware, and they've constantly discussed it, so have we, which is where Russia is then selling its energy to then continue this war and to make sure that its war chest is then full in which to do that. Now there are certain things unfolding in regard to how much is China supporting, and of course, as we've very carefully raised that whole sensitive subject when President Trump has been annoyed with India and other European countries in regard to you're still buying energy from Russia. If you stop doing that, well, maybe we can bring them to the table a lot quicker. So all of that is in the mix. But yes, it's an asset. It's a ghost fleet, but it's an asset that the Ukrainians, understandably, feels that they have a right to then attack. Asuma.
Right. With that, I would like to thank Mark Sutherland for sharing that insight. Please stay with us as we come back to you for another later discussion.